And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. And on Monday's show, I will give you my review of Dune 2. Newsflash, it's damn good. There you go. So go ahead and hear my thoughts in its entirety on Dune 2. Looking forward to go ahead and talking about that coming up on a Monday show. Plus, also as well, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. We will be doing a show this month covering the NFL free agency and how it affects your fantasy football team. So go ahead and check it out later this month as well. Plus, also Joe Soro, give him a big shout out, not only because it was his birthday on Friday, but also as well because he headed up our awesome Playback.TV's House Lakers Fast Break simulcast coverage with him, Laker Nick. Truly appreciate him stopping by, and everybody that was on Playback, YouTube, and Facebook. Big shout out to everyone out there. Big shout out as well to our good friends, the Lakerholics crew, Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom, who were on here earlier today. The messages I got: Gerald, you might want to be careful what Tom said here. Gerald, you want to be careful what Tom said there. Gerald, you want to be careful what Tom said about this and that. But you know what? If you want to hear what Laker Tom said, all the crazy stuff he said, catch it on YouTube and Facebook right now for your Lakers Fast Break. Plus also as well, our good friends, of course, starting with Joe Soro himself, Mr. Simblades, Simblades with the Y.com, Oxide T47 at LakersBall.com, and of course, Lakers Nightcap with Joe Soro. Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV, also as well, of course, John McCallion, John Costa, don't forget him, Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Hopefully he'll join us tonight. Plus also Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Yo! Go ahead and make sure you catch him. And plus, like and subscribe to all of this, including the Lakers Fast Break, so you get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers coming in tonight, I know the spotlight was on LeBron James for his 40,000th point, which he got early in the second quarter. But the bigger thing for us as Lakers fans, Lakers had fallen because of the Golden State Warriors victory last night to 10th place in the Western Conference. So they desperately needed a win as they hosted in a primetime matchup against the Denver Nuggets, the world champion Denver Nuggets. And for a half, it looked like not only did the Lakers get what they wanted in LeBron getting his 40,000 points, but also as well the Lakers getting a halftime lead of double digits. And it looked like it was really starting to go the Lakers' way. But the Lakers, unfortunately, got overwhelmed by the champs as the Denver Nuggets whittled down the Lakers' lead. In fact, took the lead into the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, after that, mistakes by the coaching staff down the stretch, even though the Lakers went back and forth for most of the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, late in the game, personnel decisions, keeping Dinwiddie and Reddish out there way too long, cost the Lakers dearly, as the Lakers, unfortunately, could not play sound defense, could not stop the clutch shots that were made by Denver Nuggets, and could not reciprocate with clutch shots of their own, as they fall 124 to 114, which ironically was the biggest lead of the entire game for the Denver Nuggets. They never had a double-digit lead at all until the very last few moments of the game. And here today to talk about today's game, the missed opportunity that was, as the Lakers now fall to 33 and 29. They are 10th place in the Western Conference. Good man indeed. It is the guy behind, the guy behind Oxide T47 at LakersBall.com. He is tired of this bleep, which he'll probably say unbleeped here in just a second. It is Joe Soro. Joe, glad to have you here. A great opportunity the Lakers had to make a statement win, as Tom said earlier today. Unfortunately, the statement was only that LeBron got his 40, but nobody else, and the Lakers got a win tonight.
It was unfortunate because you had the role players played well. D'Lo played well. Rui played well. Reeves played well. Yet you would think that at some point you have two leaders on this team. You would think that maybe something at practice can happen where there's a maybe wake the F up moment. At what point does this stubborn, useless leader get called out for his pathetic leadership and ability to gauge and have a pulse on the game? And I'm going to start at the beginning of the game. I'm going to just blame it on the end of the game. Why is Taurean Prince in 4 straight possessions the primary ball handler making plays? Can you explain that to me? I understand you got to play him to rest guys. I get it. We don't have a lot of guys to use. I understand that. Why is he a primary ball handler? Why? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 mother effing times when a guy only plays about 10, 15 minutes. Can you explain to me what offense is designated to allowing someone like Taurean Prince to do that? And tell me with a straight face, right to my face, that that is a smart basketball decision. And where is LeBron and AD, the leaders of this team, going, what the F are you doing? I'm not going to sit here and praise and then denigrate just one person. This is a team sport. At some point, if I am the leader of a team, I'm going to do it if the coach isn't doing it. I'm going to do it. What the hell are you doing? You're going into traffic. You're not a ball handler. You can't shoot. You have no size that you can go up against Jokic or Porter or whoever to even have a shot at making this shot unless it's a luck shot. In this game, we can't afford those mistakes. 4 and 5 possessions of stupid basketball costs you these games. And it can cost you in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. We're just paying attention to the end now because it's convenient, which, by the way, was his fault as well. Cam Reddish, you left him in there to play defense. Who can't shoot? Okay. Let's see how he plays defense, because we know he's going to play better than D'Lo. The only problem was he looked like he was worse than D'Lo on defense. Now you don't have any defense, and you don't have any offense. And guess what happened? Because they knew he couldn't shoot, everything collapsed. AD had no room to get the ball deep in the paint. AD had no room to roam. There was no pick and roll. There was nothing. It was LeBron's freakish ability to get to the basket. LeBron looked like LeBron of old to get to the basket. That was your reliance at that. But that's not going to last every single play. It's not. So at what point does this open up your brain? At what point is someone going to say, is LeBron now have to say something? Then we have to hear, oh, LeBron is a coach killer and all this. You know what, LeBron? They're already thinking that. Damn. Okay? Everyone. Just do it. Just do it. If I was his advisor, I'd just say, look, they already think all this. When someone already thinks you're something, you might as well roll with it. It doesn't matter. By the way, it doesn't matter. You're trying to save the season now. You got to get on that coach. You got to get on these players and tell them, stop making stupid mistakes. It's it. You can't be LeBron, the greatest player of his generation, and not have some kind of say. If you have a say in, I don't know, extensions and trades and all this stuff, you have the say in these moments. No one is going to fault you for that except the scumbags who have no play in this. They just want to yap to yap. It's done. You have run out of this particular scenario. This is the 3rd time in the last 5-6 games against this team where you're leading after the first half comfortably and you piss it away. When are you going to change? When are you going to change your strategy? When are you going to adapt? And even those other 2 games in the Western Conference Finals, they were still kind of close. This is where coaching makes that difference, folks. So if you ever needed to see what works and what doesn't, this is the difference between a crap coach and a good coach. Now, we haven't seen a good coach because they've been, 6 losses now against this team. But we can't do anything about it right now. You're not going to fire him. So the only thing left is LeBron, AD need to start doing something here, because this son of a gun is not going to stop being stubborn. He's not going to call a timeout when they just went up 3 to at least stymie the momentum. You ever watch basketball, dude? You played in it, for God's sakes. And that doesn't mean anything. That does not mean anything anymore to me. I have seen former players, NFL, NBA, especially, they start doing stuff outside that field or that court, they look like they've never known what the game was. They have no clue how to adapt. They'll commentate on plays, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You played NBA basketball. How do you not know what that is? And these are good players. At what point? It has to go to LeBron and AD now. We already know what this guy is. We already know who he is. He doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know how to adjust. It's your time. You're LeBron James and you're AD. You've won a championship. LeBron, you've won 3 championships with 3 teams. You got to do it now, or this is going to get derailed. This is not an easy run. You needed this win, not only to get some confidence against the champs, but to start this next run with something. You needed it. But you're not doing the little things. Don't blame Austin. Don't blame Rui. Do not blame D'Lo this time. No, I'm not going to allow it. I'm not allowed. They did their job. To their talent level, they did their job. Now, it's up to LeBron and AD to go, we need to start controlling this. If I'm LeBron, I'm having dinner with AD tonight, and I'm going, dude, we got to do something here, man. We got to start pushing this out. We got to put the pressure on Darvin Ham to somehow get a pulse on this thing. Otherwise, it's over. It's over. This was beyond frustrating, because you could not blame this on D'Lo not showing up or any of the stuff that's happened in the past. This time it was the inability in any way to have a pulse on this thing, and couldn't take advantage. It's just absolutely just spoiled a good game again.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do unfortunately lose 124-114. Lakers fall to 33-29. Yes, LeBron did get over the magical 40,000 point barrier. As far as for the scoring, he is the all-time scoring king. Did get over 40,000. That's awesome. Congratulations to him. But also here today to go ahead and talk about today's game. Good man indeed. He is the guy behind, of course, Lakers Corner, and also as well Clutch Talk. It is John Costa. John, great to have you here. Congrats to LeBron. 40,000 points. That's awesome. That's great. Put it on a postcard. Absolutely. Thanks. Sounds good. The Lakers lost and are stuck in 10th place in the Western Conference. That's what I care about more, John. That's what bothers me, because as Joe said about Taurean Prince being in there, making mistakes in crucial situations, and you not getting him out of there and putting him on the bench, having Dinwiddie and Reddish out there supposedly giving you better defense. No, they didn't get you better defense. They both got burned at crucial times. You might as well have your guy, being the head and president of the D'Angelo Russell fan club, should have been out there, should have had Rui out there a lot sooner. Unfortunately, these coaching mistakes that Joe talks about, where he talks about, I was kind of defending Ham, and I said he only cost us about 5 to 7 games this season. Joe said well over 10. You know what? I agree with Joe. It's well over 10 with mistakes like this, John. This is really a bad moment for the Lakers. Lakers up by double digits and blew it. And it's unfortunate now because we're now down 2 games in the loss column to Golden State. And it looks like it's 10th place for us from here on out.
Yeah, it's absolutely 10 or more the games that Darvin Ham blew with just terrible. Let's see, we could run down the line. Terrible rotations, terrible timeout calling, just general bad decisions as a whole. So yeah, I'm absolutely there with you, Joe, for that. And this game is so upsetting, guys. Like it at least to me, the way I'm watching this game. Coming into it, I'm like, damn, all right, Denver Nuggets, very, elite team, top of the West, Western Conference Finals rematch that we had last year. Let's get it, but the Denver Nuggets are a good team. I knew this was going to be a challenge. And what I was afraid of was the fact that we would do what we do in every first quarter, which is we play terrible in the first quarter, we go down big, and then we're playing catch-up ball for the rest of the game. Now, it's really hard to play catch-up ball against a top-tier team. It's really hard to play catch-up ball in the NBA, period, against anybody. But playing catch-up ball against a top-tier team in the West that's when things get even harder. So for us, I was like, all right, as long as we don't put ourselves in that situation. And in the first half, guys, I was feeling great. Throughout the game, I'm like, ooh, cool. We keeping this at a low turnover rate. I believe at the end of the first half, we only had 2 turnovers, so there's 6. So we were swinging the ball, keeping the turnovers low. I was like, okay, we really got a chance. At this point, now we don't have to play catch-up ball. All we got to do is maintain and have some damn pride. And what did we do? Did not maintain and did not have no pride at all. Joe, it's funny that you talk about, and happy birthday, by the way, Joe, my brother. Very happy to be able to spend this special day with you. Sorry that LeBron and this Lakers team ruined it for you, my brother. But anyway, real quick, Joe, you mentioned how the last couple of games and last times that we played this team, we've been up comfortably and we can blew it. You know what that tells me? That tells me that like the Denver Nuggets might just be genuinely like, they look at us like we're some middle schoolers. Like, when you're in high school and you're playing some middle school kids and you're like, oh, I'm not going to try. I'm going to let them score the first, 5-7 points.
You're toying with them.
You're toying with them, right? It looks like that's what they're doing every single time with us, y'all. I'm sitting there thinking, all right, here we go. We got a good, comfortable lead. Let's just not screw this up. We can keep playing the same way we're playing. We can finish this game out. But nope, all of a sudden, Jamal Murray turns it up to a whole nother level third quarter, and then Jokic turns it up to a whole nother level third quarter. MPJ throughout the entire game, and us making piss poor mistakes. I mean, guys, I witnessed by myself with my 2 eyes watching on this TV right here that's right above this computer. I witnessed the Nuggets go on a 10-0 run and no timeout, guys, or 10-0 or 10-1, one of those two, and no timeout. No timeout. That's crazy, guys. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is just us. Like maybe Darvin Ham is just so much smarter than us that what we're saying is just like so elementary to him that he's like, oh, I'm just gonna overlook it. Because at this point, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This is what I'll end on for now. Basketball is a game. Actually, I'll have 2 more things. Basketball is a game all about rhythm. Okay. And if you allow another team, especially another elite team, to get into rhythm, yeah, you can kiss yourself good night. And that's exactly what we did tonight. And then last thing I will say is, as far as like the play wise, just like to guys to analyze that a little bit, dang, we need to do better with stop getting backdoor cut. We were just getting backdoor cut after backdoor cut, whether it was Peyton Watson or whether it was Aaron Gordon. I know that that's what they do. And I know Jokic is elite at that. But damn, guys, like at some point, can we call a timeout and say, yo, if the man is behind you, like back up, make sure nobody is behind you. Don't give up baseline for these baseline backdoor cuts. At some point, we got to do something, guys. Yeah. This is ridiculous. Very, very upsetting because that Boston win. Sorry, was it the Boston win? It was the win that when we came on here and I was just like super excited. I was like, man, it's one of the best wins all season.
Well, where they didn't have LeBron and AD and they still won in Boston.
Right. Yeah. I was really happy. One of the happiest wins so far. This one, honestly, one of the sad, well, not the saddest, but just disheartening losses because of the way this went out.
Once again, the Lakers do lose 124 to 114. Joe, I want to go ahead and ask you real quick. When it comes to it, the Lakers, again, down the stretch, didn't execute on both the offense and defensive end. It seemed like it was just LeBron and AD against the world. When you have Cam Reddish, you called it. You saw it. You could see, and Cam Reddish was out there on the wing. Nobody on the Denver Nuggets was within 20 feet of him. They collapsed, made it harder for the Lakers to execute. And if you're not hawking down Murray on the other end and stopping him, preventing him from doing what he wants, you can't have him in there, Joe. But unfortunately, at crucial times, the mistakes by Darvin Ham to leave Dinwiddie in there too long, and then Prince too long, and then Cam Reddish on top of that. This is a guy that, again, keeps on continuing to make coaching mistakes. I don't know how much longer this learning curve should go.
No, he didn't leave Taurean Prince in there long. He only played.
No, but the Taurean Prince when he was making mistakes.
Okay, so you're going to put these guys in. Again, I'm going to say this clearly. I get you have to play these guys. They don't have an option. Their depth is crap. Why is he dominating the ball over and over again? Why is he trying to make decisions in traffic? This is my question. I don't care how long you've been in the NBA. I don't care what the hell you've done in your life in the NBA. That is a stupid decision to allow. And no one is going to be able to argue against it. No one. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the results prove it. Stop doing that. You want to play him to cover minutes? Yes, I get it. But why is he creating? Why is he dribbling in traffic? Why is he trying to make difficult shots? That is not, like, really? Do I really need to be average in terms of IQ to understand that?
Doesn't make sense.
As far as the end of the game, you want to experiment on Cam Reddish guarding an elite guard? Can you do it later or on another team? Not against Denver? Can you not do it now? Because it wasn't like D'Lo was struggling in the first half playing defense. He got a lot of hands on balls while guys were going in and out getting out of pick and rolls and things like that. He was decent. He wasn't bad. Why now? Why tonight? Why against this team? When you needed to spread the floor so you can get AD deep in the goddamn post so he can make Jokic work. He can have Porter or whoever is playing the four not have to just hang out. Make them work. You know how you tire out offense? When you make them play defense. Do I need to have an IQ above 400 to know that? Or 100 or 50? Young Africa, no. I'm not going to go with that one. I'm sorry. No, he's not horrible. He played well tonight, and he's been playing well for almost 2 months now. No. That one, you're not going to get on that one. You roll with what you came with, okay? They've been playing real well. All 5 starters have been playing very well. They've been doing their job. Roll with them at this point. There's nothing else left. There's nothing else left. You're going to roll with Cam Reddish? Really? It doesn't matter if his defense is horrible. It doesn't matter. You don't have anyone else. It doesn't matter. Dinwiddie shoots 32% from 3. He can't get to the basket at will. He couldn't even make a freaking layup at the end of the quarter. What else do you want? You got to work with what's working at this point. There's nothing we can do. That's it. But no, on top of that, these guys finally go on a run. An extensive run where they're starting to get scary. And what's he do? Sits there like this, jerking off. like he always does. That's what he's doing in there because that's all that makes sense. That's all that makes sense. What else is he doing? Standing there. Go sit down. I hate seeing that guy just standing there. I always see him. Every time we go back and forth. All I see is that mother effer on that goddamn sideline with this. If you're going to do this, go sit over there so you blend in with the other coaches wearing all those pajamas that they wear. All looking like schlep rocks.
John, let me ask you this. I know Joe's, as far as you obviously have to give them
It's a stupid loss.
It was
preventable.
It was preventable.
If Jokic is hitting those behind the ear, under the leg shots like he seems to make all the time at the end of the game, or Jamal Murray, you didn't see me this angry the last time Jamal Murray did this, right? You know why? Because Jamal Murray did it. But this time you caused it. You didn't call a timeout to stymie the run. You didn't put in the right guys in there when you needed them. This is the result now. Now it's your fault.
John, let me ask you this. I know Joe is right when he said you actually have to rest the players, but tonight, the bench, again, since they've gone to the starting lineup with Rui Hashimura, the thing that's been lacking most, obviously, is production off the bench. So let me give you a little thing that I put on there. Let me go ahead and bring it up here. The chat is just going so fast. It's so great to see. Truly appreciate you going ahead and being a part of what we're doing. Best Lakers chat rooms out there is the Laers Fast Break. But Cam Reddish, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Taurean Prince combined 51 minutes. 3 of 13 and a combined minus 19 on the floor. I get you have to rest your players, but you also have to be smart about how you allocate your reserves. And if your reserves are playing that badly, John, why you have them in clutch time in the fourth quarter playing Dinwiddie and also as well Cam Reddish, who are both struggling on the day, not providing you the defense you need and being that much worse on the offensive end. How much of a bad decision was that by Darvin Ham coming down the stretch?
That was typical of Darvin Warm Hands Ham. A terrible decision. You know, if you're going to have a defensive specialist out there, at least have them have the ability to be confident enough to take that shot. You know, and this kind of reminds me of the whole Ben Simmons thing, right? And this is maybe a little bit different because Cam at least isn't scared to take a three. No, he attempted 2 threes this game. Spencer Dinwiddie attempted 3 threes this game. But it's like the Nuggets. Earlier, we were talking about how the Nuggets played Cam and Spencer Dinwiddie, right? Where they were just left them wide open at the 3-point line, doubled AD or made it harder for us to drive when we're a team that goes inside, right? So they really force us to shoot. But the thing to me is like, if we're going to put a defensive specialist out there, and I think I've said this before on one of these post-game streams, we have to be working with this defensive specialist to make sure that he is at least like a 40 to 30, 35% three-point shooter, because guys, this is crazy. They know what we're doing when we put Cam Reddish out there. They know that it's like, all right, cool. They're putting a defensive specialist out there to supposedly guard our guards, who he did a terrible job on tonight. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He did a terrible job tonight. And what I'm saying is, you put Cam Reddish out there, the Denver Nuggets already know, like, all right, cool. On offense, we know where the ball isn't going. So at this point, now we're just going to throw doubles. We're going to help a lot more. We're going to hedge a lot more. We're not even worried about this guy. And I just think that, like, as a coach, you have to know what the other coach is thinking when you make a move, right? So it's like about being one move ahead. So it's like, if I make this move, what move is he going to make so I can counter to that? That's how you constantly got to be ahead as a coach. And I honestly, guys, don't think that Darvin Ham thinks that, like, at all. Like, at all. I totally understand that D'Angelo Russell is a defensive liability, but you cannot tell me tonight that Cam Reddish was not a defensive liability in the way that he was playing. Spencer Dinwiddie's been a defensive liability as a player as a whole. So it's like, to me, I don't understand why you have those players in there in crunch time, because like how we mentioned, they never give us nothing offensively. I genuinely have not seen one positive offensive show out from Spencer Dinwiddie yet. Like, realistically, guys, I'm not even trying to hate on him. I haven't seen one that I was like, wow, all right, cool. I think this is a good offensive showing by Spencer Dinwiddie. Cam Reddish gave us some earlier in the season, hit some threes, but this game's all about ups and downs, and he looked so down tonight. Like, that pass on the right wing when D'Angelo Russell threw it to him, and he just fumbled it and it went out of bounds. I even saw D'Lo's face. D'Lo was like, "Oh my god!" He was just sick with it, and I don't know. And it's funny because we see that and we're like, "Damn, let's get this guy out of the game." Darvin Ham sees that and he's like, "Oh wow, I think I should give this guy more minutes." Guys, I've said this before, and if we haven't come to terms with this, we're not going anywhere as long as this guy's our coach. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Doesn't reincarnate freaking any dead basketball player you want. Bring Michael Jordan back, reverse time. It doesn't matter at this point. As long as that guy's at the helm, we're not going anywhere, unfortunately.
Once again, the Lakers do lose 124-114. They're 33-29. They're 10th place in the Western Conference. Now 2 games in the loss column behind Golden State. In the Western Conference mix, coming up with a really, really tough schedule, Joe. But before we even get to the schedule and how bad it looks, so it goes from into the frying pan and into, from the frying pan into the fire here in a sec. We'll talk about the schedule in a sec. But Anthony Davis today, only 13 shots, 17 points. Were you upset at all as far as the allocation of shots that he was given for tonight's game?
Who?
Anthony Davis, only 13 shots tonight, 17 points, 11 rebounds.
Well, it would be nice if we could design a play for him on a consistent basis. Unfortunately, we don't.
Get away from him again, because I mentioned that in the other game that they got away from him. Got away with it.
And you can sit here and you can keep regurgitating, and I say you as in I when I do hear it, I don't read it. I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on any of those places. Those places are turds put in acid. The turds are the people, and the acid needs to be where they belong so that it can disintegrate because they're useless. But the word always gets around because that's what everybody does. Everybody's all day, every day doing this all day on that stuff, right? So my thing is, AD should demand the ball. No, AD should not demand the ball. Get over that. Just like I keep telling you to get over the fact that you got to play with what you can play with at this point. We can't imagine that Dinwiddie needs to shoot better or Taurean Prince needs to be able to pass better, all this stuff, all this fantasy stuff. You need to create something for AD and he will perform. You want to use AD's prowess? Can you get him close to the basket? I'm sure he'll make those shots regularly. But that also means you have to put the right guys around him in those moments. Guys that are a threat to shoot from anywhere. And you have 3 guys that you start that can do that. When you don't have those 3 in, you can sag off a little bit from Dinwiddie, Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince, Jackson Hayes. So you gotta bide your time. Now, if you have your starters play the whole first quarter in a game like this, cool. Then you sit them down, and you got to stagger it, obviously. You sit them down the first 6 minutes of the second quarter. Then you play them the remaining 6 minutes. Then the third quarter, they play the whole quarter, and then you rest them again. That's how I saw rotations for prime players or important players playing basketball. But, yeah, we didn't do that. That didn't happen. Unfortunately, we have to watch Cam Reddish get burnt like toast in a toaster for like 15 minutes. You can't put toast in the toaster for 15 minutes. And for a actual 15 minutes of actual lifetime, you saw Cam Reddish getting smoked. And not only that, you get smoked on the offensive end because you think Denver's going to worry about Cam Reddish on offense. He can't dribble. He can't get to the basket. He can't shoot with any consistency. What is that guy good for at that moment for your team? You're putting him in that position. I'm not going to blame Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish was one more opportunity away from saying bye-bye and going to Europe China, Zimbabwe, Sudan. I don't know where the hell they have a basketball league, but that's where he was going. What do you want me to expect from him? I expect the coach to recognize this because he's there every day watching film, maybe, watching his team at practice, maybe, watching something.
I can tell you what he's watching, Joe. He's in the locker room watching freaking Torian Prince.
The Sudan was for you, young Africa, even though I know your flag is not for the Sudan, but
real quick, you know what's funny is we talk about D'Angelo Russell not playing in the in clenched and
until it was too late.
But yeah, right. He
got back out on the court after it was too late.
After it was too late, right? And Darvin Ham realized it a bit too late, which is too late, too little, too late. But what I was gonna say was Anthony Davis. A lot of people have said it in the chat. Joe was just alluding into it. I've talked about this a long time ago. He is such a good basketball player, generational basketball player. But what he does not have is he does not have that natural instincts of just having that dog in him. He doesn't just come to the game like, oh yeah, I'm ready to rip your head off tonight. He can get there. He can get to the point where he's like being aggressive, looking to score, and catching the ball, facing up. Whether if he got a smaller defender, taking it to him and taking it straight to his chest. If he's got someone he can shooting over them. He can get there, but he just never starts the game there. He's just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to judge Anthony Davis as a person. He's just a more natural, chill, laid back guy. But like I've said thousands of times, there's nothing more that gets a basketball player going. And that's what Anthony Davis is at the end of the day. He's a basketball player. There's nothing more that gets him going than seeing the ball go through the hoop and seeing you get buckets. Because you start feeling yourself. You start getting loose. You're just like, oh, man, this dude right here in front of me, he can't guard me. And we talked about how Anthony Davis, he needs to be fed. He's not the type of guy that's like, yo, give me the ball because I'm going to just take over. He's not that type of guy. And you know who feeds Anthony Davis? I mean, LeBron James is the number one player on this team that feeds Anthony Davis. I'd rather LeBron James and Anthony Davis pick and roll every single time down court if that's what he can do. But LeBron's 39. He can't handle that. But right next to LeBron James, who's the next player that feeds him the best? D'Angelo freaking Russell. Out of that pick and roll, he's a freaking savant at making those entry passes, whether it's a bounce pass on the pick and roll, or whether it's a lob, or whether it's AD fading back, and he hits AD as soon as the big comes and doubles D'Angelo Russell. But D'Angelo Russell is 2 on this team, so it was LeBron and D'Angelo Russell that set AD up. There's just no way that me sitting here in the Bay Area, I work for freaking Zoom at the company, knows this and can comprehend this, and Darvin Ham can't. There's no way. I think, Joe, remember when you said last stream that I think you said this. Somebody said this, that Darvin Ham is actually no, I think someone said this in the chat. That one time I did a stream. Someone said, we think Darvin Ham is hired by Michael Jordan to make sure that LeBron James doesn't get any more rings. And at this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I really, really wouldn't be surprised. And Young Africa calling D'Angelo Russell a pick and roll savant is not glazed at all. That is having high basketball IQ. That man is amazing out of the pick and roll with deciding, especially with Anthony Davis with them. But yeah, guys, that's wild. I'm sorry.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 124-114. They're now 33-29, 10th place in the Western Conference, 2 games in the loss column behind Golden State. And Joe, getting it back to you, my friend, the Lakers' schedule does not get any easier. And let me go ahead and give everybody a rundown what they've got upcoming. The Thunder, the Bucks, Timberwolves, Warriors, Hawks, Sixers, Pacers, and another game against the Bucks. No. Oh, sorry. And not to mention not 1, but 2 games coming up as well in the not too distant future with the Sacramento Kings. These are all playoff teams, Joe. So a win tonight would have really helped boost your chances of trying to get any kind of momentum out of the 9-10 spot in the Western Conference plan. But right now, being 2 games down behind Golden State, it's looking more and more like 10th place it is for us.
The likelihood of us staying in 10 is very, very high. Tonight's game was more about Denver than the moment the starting of this next 10 game stretch, but it also does factor in too, because it makes you feel a little bit better after tonight. If you beat Denver starting this, now you're going to feel like, well, we just beat the champs and we got them at a good time. We got them at the beginning of this thing. And then now you're going to be playing the Milwaukees and the Minnesotas and the Sacramentos. If they play like this against those teams, I think they win those games if you just do a couple things that you're supposed to do correctly. They can make up for this a little bit if they win the next 6 straight, sure. But that doesn't look good because you don't know what this team is going to decide to do in important situations. I just don't understand. I don't understand why they're in this position. It's starting to probably really sink in for me. We've talked about the trades and all the stuff that's happened the last few years, but I think the realization of another wasted season and the fact that the Celtics are playing really well, that's probably what's bothering me right now and starting to worry me. Because if Jamal Murray comes up lame, which could happen at the worst time, and Minnesota might be too neophyte to go all the way, Oklahoma City's definitely too young. Clippers are, the Clippers. Denver is probably the only team that's more than likely going to whoop Boston if they get there, because already Philly's out. Milwaukee's playing like garbage. Cleveland is not going to play next level basketball. The Knicks are not going to play that kind of basketball. So what do you have left? Is Miami going to come out of the Phoenix again and from the 8th seed and dominate through the East? Maybe, maybe not. But it's a lot of things going on right now that have me worried here in the next 3 months, that if this thing could get much worse, and it's all because of the Lakers doing by their stupid hiring practices, by their stupid decisions when they didn't have to make those decisions. They pissed away good drafting and good free agent pickups. For what? What did you do that for? What did you do all that scouting for? To do what? This is the result of it. It sucks. It really, really sucks, because they don't have to be in this position. They didn't have to hire this guy. Who the hell was this guy? And now he's putting the final stake in this thing through his ass, through his pocket, to boot.
John, latest Darvin Ham quote of the day. Get ready for it, my friend.
Oh no.
Darvin Ham on defending Nikola Jokic. You just have to fight as hard as you can for as long as you can and hope he misses. Hope he misses. You just have to keep throwing stuff at him. There you go. Your wise sage, Darvin Ham. Any thoughts?
I mean, like this. I at least he wasn't like, oh, the reason why Jokic played so well tonight is because Anthony Davis's voice hurt. At least he didn't give us one of those excuses again about his voice hurting or whatnot. I get it that when you're playing against a player that's so great, sometimes you do have to just, put your hands up. But I think I even think, me personally, and I understand the concept of putting Anthony Davis like as a secondary like defender roaming, and they had Ruby like primarily on Jokic. But I think in that situation, like, put AD on Jokic. Like I'd actually rather have AD on Jokic instead of having AD roaming as a secondary defender. I know it worked out a couple of times because he come from the help side, but the issue is when you have AD roaming from the help side, he's so worried about Jokic getting positioned inside on Rui because
Or
he's
throwing
just
a back door.
exactly right. He's so worried about that. He's so worried because every time Rui puts that puts that shoulder in Rui's chest, Rui's just backing up, and then until he gets right in the perfect position where he's either gonna go for that little post, for that little turnaround post hook, or he's gonna be able to fake a post hook, you think it is, and he's actually gonna be throwing a backdoor cut to Peyton Watson or Aaron Gordon. And why? Because Anthony Davis is so dang worried about helping Rui. And my saying is like, how about Anthony Davis just mans up with him one-on-one? Because I guarantee, some of those possessions he would have been able to get off. But I also can guarantee that some of those shoulders that he was just sticking in Rui's chest, AD wouldn't have really moved for some of those. So I think that right there would have changed the concept of the whole game, because now you're not really allowing as many backdoor cuts as we were getting hit with. So I understand, I guess the concept of putting AD as a secondary defender, but I mean, at some point, right? Like I remember when Jokic and Embiid played before Embiid got hurt. I was watching that game. I was tuned into that game. 2 MVP candidates. First 3 quarters, they did the same thing. Both Nick Nurse and Mike Malone, they did the same thing. They left Jokic on, I believe it was like Tobias Harris, and then left Embiid on Aaron Gordon because they were going to be like the roaming defenders, so and that they can go and help. But in the fourth quarter, what happened? It was man on man time, macho on macho. Was Jokic against Joel Embiid, and I was hoping that Darvin Ham would run that tonight, but we didn't. And I guess this man is just saying, yeah, I guess that's all you try. So you mean to tell me that that's you tried Rui on him primarily the entire game and had AD as a roamer, and then after the game you're gonna tell me, oh yeah, you gotta just try stuff and hope. Well, at what point do you put your best defender on the other team's best player? Because I know when I play pickup basketball, and I know pickup basketball is far different than NBA basketball, but I guess that's all I have to relate to. Or when I played basketball, when I was in high school, when I was in college, every single time, the best player on my team is going to guard the best player on their team. Because we got to go, we're going to have to figure this out. Not I'm a guard over here, so I don't got to get exposed, or I'm a guard over here, so I could be a help defender. But Darvin Ham is scared. Let's see what young guy first said. AD got to guard Jokic one-on-1. We don't let Jokic get 10 assists. Yeah, this is crazy though, guys. I think Darvin Ham, at least before you sit there and complain and say, "Oh, I don't know what to do with such a great player," you got to at least try your best defender on the other team's best player. I just think in my rational mind that makes sense. Am I crazy for saying that, Gerald? Joe? Like
No,
you guys?
you're not. Right? You gotta go ahead and try having different looks.
Yeah, you gotta try
what Darvin Ham said. But the problem is he didn't throw different looks, or his idea of different looks at times, I think, was having a guard on Nikola Jokic. And Nikola Jokic went straight to the basket when that happened. So yeah, that's not the kind of different looks I would like. Yes, putting AD on him, seeing how far it goes. If he gets him in foul trouble, then you look at different options. But it also leads to different problems as well, because the Lakers did lose 124 to 114, Joe. But I want to bring it back to you. On top of that, the rebounding was an issue once again, with the Lakers getting killed on the offensive boards. The Nuggets got 11 rebounds off on the offensive glass as opposed to Lakers 6, and got out rebounded 47 to 31. This is concerning because they have been a bad rebounding team all season long. And if you can't get the boards, you're just giving the other team another chance and another chance to score the basketball, Joe.
Yeah, there's nothing to solve that problem other than to score the same way. They don't have Jackson Hayes has played his rear end off this year. I want to commend him for doing everything he can. I thought there were mistakes he made tonight, but he made up for them with paying attention. All you can ask is the effort and to make up for your mistakes at the very least. And he did that. And he's been relatively good for what he's getting paid and how and really what we need him for. It's just unfortunate that we can't use him for more than 10.
He gets
minutes.
overplayed though a lot, especially on.
He gets overplayed because that's just his game. He's not.
Yeah.
He's just not going to be that player. The Lakers don't have a power forward that can box out with any strength either. They don't have rebounding instincts. They don't. I would pay Rodman. As much as this sounds funny, I know it wouldn't happen, but I would pay Rodman to teach these guys how to learn what he used to prepare for. He used to listen to how the ball would bounce off the backboard, things like that. You're a professional, right? Are you professional basketball players? Or are you guys professional jerk-offs who just play basketball and then go play with your ding-a-ling afterwards at a club? I don't know. I'm sure they do both. But if I'm LeBron James, and AD, these are all-time greats, and you're judged by championships. You're not judged by winning regular season games or 40,000 points. As amazing as that stat is, I keep telling you guys this, no one cares. Really. The discussion will never end. Championships is what matters in NBA basketball. Same thing with the NFL as well. Baseball, hockey, yeah, to some degree. But in the NBA and in the NFL, fair or not, championships dictate greatness. How great. And if I'm LeBron James and I'm AD, man, I'm fuming. I'm fuming to the point where I'm like, either you mother, you know what's, and like, they're not going to do it though. I'm just wishfully thinking. But at this point, you would think that at some point, even the most passive person sometimes will reach a limit, right? At some point, I've seen very nice people before finally reach a limit and blow up. This is the time to blow up if I'm LeBron and AD. Get your rear ends where you belong. Stop acting like you are doing things that you're supposed to do. You're not. Don't stop dribbling when you're not a dribbler. Stop shooting when you're not open. You are not that player. Be efficient. Do your job. If you get burned by a Jamal Murray or Jokic shoots over you and makes it, so be it. But don't give them possessions because of stupid decisions. Stop passing the ball backwards when there's 3 seconds left on the goddamn shot clock. How about that? Can you work on that? How many times do we see that during the game? Let me give the guy the ball with 3 seconds left on the shot clock in an awkward position. I remember Luke Walton did that one time to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant started screaming at him and basically just obliterated his whole career. The only reason why this mother effer is in this league is because of his pops, which was kind of mean. That's not true. Luke Walton was not bad. He wasn't great. He wasn't really good, but he made the league on his own. But that's what it takes sometimes to fire up somebody in the rear end. These guys, sometimes you can test somebody's manhood and they wake up. Maybe not. I don't know. But they got to start with the coach, by the way, first. I'd be in Darvin's office right now going, what are you doing today? If I'm LeBron James, you better believe I'd be doing that. Like, hey, man, I'm closing the door, and you and I are going to have a little talk. What the hell was that?
Especially because, and especially for LeBron at this point, and you guys know, LeBron's my guy, big LeBron supporter guy. But even me, I'm saying, like, yo, LeBron, you've been to so many finals. You've been around so much greatness. You've been with Eric Spoelstra, which in my opinion is the best coach right now and currently in the NBA. You know what it takes. You know what kind of discipline it takes. You know what kind of coaching it takes. You know what kind of players it takes for you to get there. And for me to think that like LeBron is not doing anything about it is crazy, because it's like, come on, LeBron, like you've seen what a championship team looks like. You've seen what a championship coach is like, and you've seen what a non-championship coach is like, and you've seen what a non-championship team plays like. At what point are you gonna, like how Joe said, walk in Darvin Ham's office, close the door behind you, just lock it, sit down with Darvin, and say, "Yo, you're not doing what's gonna get us there. Here's what I think is gonna get us there." Because, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe there's some guys at the end of the bench here, but I think LeBron and AD are the only players on this team that have a championship. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. Okay. All right. So LeBron and AD are only players on this team that have a championship. So they're the only players on this team that knows what it actually takes to win something meaningful. So they have to. I don't care if you're the freaking towel boy. Like if the towel boy was the only guy on that team that knew what it took to win, you got to step up and talk to him. Talk to somebody, because yeah, this is crazy, guys. This is crazy. We're still rocking with Darvin Ham. Yeah, Tony, I agree. This team just isn't it. Period.
Joe, the team is, and John, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. The team is 2 games behind in the loss column to Golden State at this point, 33 and 29. They're 5.5 games in front of Utah. They are pretty much, after this week, they'll pretty much be set in 10th place in the Western Conference, which means a play-in, which means another play-in, which means they're on the road for both play-in games. How tough now is the challenge that's awaiting the Lakers, Joe?
If I had to take a bet, I would say Denver's going to end up on the 1 spot at some point, and then if the Lakers can win 2 games at the 10th spot, they'll face the Denver Nuggets in the first round.
Of course, they would have to beat the Golden State Warriors if it started today, the plans. Plus, they would have to go on the road to face the winner of the Kings and the Mavericks.
And that might be their championship run, because as soon as they get in, it's over. The first round.
Yeah.
So do they want to? Is it worth them not? Is it worth it? And will it matter? Because will the New Orleans Pelicans decide to choose a lottery team pick for the Lakers? So now there's so many bad things that can happen here this year. Once this year is over, it's done. Like, we're done in so many ways.
New Orleans picks up.
I have a hard time making a decision on, do you take what you can take right now? It's the whole I'd rather have a bird in the hand than 2 in the bush, right? Yes, I know that the draft isn't very good this year, but it's still a lottery pick. Will it be guaranteed that you'll get another lottery pick next year? No. What if the Lakers play well and they're not a lottery pick? So I have a strong feeling that if they don't get out of the play-in and they get a high pick, that's a lottery pick, that pick is going to go to the Pelicans. They will choose to pick that draft pick. So now you have no first-round pick after this season. There's a threat that the Celtics might win the championship this year based off of how well they've been playing. And, of course, we have to pray and hope that that monstrosity on the sideline is not coming back next year. We don't know that either. We don't know jack squat. We do know this. We do know that LeBron is going to ask for an extension, which we discussed before that came out, because he wants to play more. And who are they going to get to improve this team? It's a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. That's the good thing about it. That's the good thing about what's about to come here in the next few months. But I don't like losing like this. I don't like inadequate brain activity. I don't like it. I don't like stupidity. when you don't have to be stupid. And it's just one bad decision after another. One bad decision after another. And all those bad decisions have just started to accumulate and accumulate, from the coach, from Zubac, from Westbrook, from losing KCP, from losing Kuzma, from losing Caruso, from not taking advantage of a pick last year. This is the result of that stew that they put together when they didn't have to. They had full control of all these things, and they didn't just roll with it. All that scouting, all that travel, all that money you spent for what? For Muscala? For Triple H? I'm sorry, THT? For what? You choose THT over Caruso? You do this, you do that. It's like one after another, and they're all piling up. At the time, you're not thinking about it. But now you look back, did these guys really know what they're doing? It was not one mistake. It wasn't two mistakes. It was 5 and 6 mistakes. And it's all coming to a head now. It's all now coming to a head. Now you got to sit here and sit in that stew. That's shit.
But don't forget Kendrick Nunn. We often forget about Kendrick Nunn.
That you didn't know that was going to happen, but then you went and got Gabe Vincent. You didn't learn your lesson again there. Don't get anyone out of Miami that Pat Riley don't want. You would think that this organization would know who Pat Riley is. They created him. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say they created him. That was always Pat Riley. They gave him the platform to be what he became.
Well said. John, before we head on out to before Joe hosts his nightcap, the Lakers nightcap coming up here in just a few minutes. But before he goes, I got to hear his thoughts on this. Hold on. Of course, we would be remiss, John, if we didn't congratulate LeBron on 40,000. But as AD said in the postgame, every time LeBron breaks a record, we lose. So I guess congratulations is in order. Although, again, I don't feel very festive because LeBron hitting 40,000 came in a loss for the Lakers, John.
Yeah, honestly, I like I said earlier, love LeBron, big time LeBron supporter, but I'm a Lakers supporter first. Like, I was a Lakers fan before LeBron got here. And when LeBron came here, it just was like, whoa, sweet. Now I think one of the greatest players came to my favorite team. That's dope. But I was a Lakers fan before this. So I'm not going to put LeBron's individual success over my team's success. LeBron, congratulations. I'm happy your mom was there. Happy your wife was there. I'm sorry your son couldn't be there. Sorry you missed your son's game. But I think what's right now is more important that you focus on getting us some wins. Let's get us some wins. And I'm not even saying in the sense of like, yo, you're not playing the right way, which, you know, he's trying. He's doing what he can. He had like 13 points in the fourth quarter to will us to that Clippers win. But now what I need him to do is some off the court actions, which is just some conversations with particularly Darvin Ham, and to tell him that hey, I've seen championship coaches and you're not it, buddy. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy. That's what LeBron should tell him.
So
Matt,
he hit the 40,000. So congratulations to him. But Joe, we don't really feel festive. And then on top of it, just to piss you off even more, we get the ESPN exclusive Adrian Wojnarowski reports on Bronny James. And the thought with Bronny James being that the discussion is on whether or not he's going to the draft is more about team fit than actually where he will go in the draft. Your thoughts on all this LeBron James, 40,000 points, Bronny James. I know you're very much against it. You really do not want to hear about it. But again, it keeps on getting right in your face, whether you want to like it or not.
Not in my face. I don't watch that garbage. 40,000 points is great. And what was good about tonight was it was done early. and that was it. It was time to play ball. No one thought about 40,000 points after he got it. That was it. He got it. Hello, thank you, good. It was early enough where it wasn't a problem. There was no blaming on that. There was no attention to it to where it was a detriment to the team. It played out perfect. So again, it's a great feat. It's something that likely will never happen again, at least not for the next 30, 40 years. Guys like Woj, guys like Shams, they're parasites to me, especially lately. Before, they had some value. They would have this ability to find out information and put it out. That stuff doesn't matter anymore. They'll put it out, and then I have to just wait maybe 30 seconds, and then you will text me. My friend over there will text me. My neighbor next door will text me. Someone over there that doesn't even know who I am, but they saw my Laker gear, will text me. Within about 30 seconds, I already know what's going on. They're useless. Useless now. They mean nothing to the sport. And if you want proof, you just got it. You just got it. They're talking about a poor kid who cannot play in this league. They're talking about a guy putting this kind of pressure on this kid who cannot play in the NBA. I don't give a damn. He's at USC for 8 years. I've seen players play. I've seen young people play. You don't want to believe me? Go talk to Stone. 13 hours a day. For how long? Watching high school basketball, college basketball, NCAA basketball, NAIA basketball, European basketball, Chinese basketball, every kind of basketball you want to know about, go talk to Stone Cold Hansen. That's where a lot of my information comes from. I don't go around acting like I know what everything is. No, I don't. But I go to the sources. Doesn't matter if it's basketball, if it's the military, if it's politics. I want to know where you got that information from and why do you think that? Well, Joe, I'm this, and this is what I do every day. Oh, really? Oh, so you do this. Just like if you were to go to a podiatrist, okay? Are you going to go to a dentist if you need something done on your foot? No. You're going to go to the podiatrist. Why? Because that's what they do. You don't know anything about podiatry. You don't know anything about dentistry, but you're going to put two and two together. Hey, I'm going to go talk to this guy because he actually does it. We have gotten no information anymore in the NBA this far in that we have to talk about a freshman basketball player who's only at USC because of his dad. Do you really think Bronny James would be at USC right now without LeBron James? No. Privilege. Privilege is the word I hear a lot, by the way. I'm just going to leave it at that. If that's not privilege, I don't know what is. You can get into a school, get a full ride, and not be able to play? USC is not a bad program. It's not UCLA back in the wooden days. It's not Kentucky. It's not Duke during the Krzyzewski days, but USC's gotten some really good players out of there. Now I got to listen to this professional talk about a player who cannot play in this league that's going to be basically drawn out of college to play in a league he cannot play in, especially now, and won't be able to play in 4 years even if he stayed there for 4 years. All so that we can hold hands and, oh my God, he's playing with his son. This is such a beautiful moment. This isn't Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. playing together. Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the greatest baseball players I ever saw. Played with his dad, who was a very good player. They belong there. And if Jelly Bean Bryant could have played 30 years, he would have played with his son, and it would have been fine because Jelly Bean wasn't bad either. I saw him dunk over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a highlight. Yes, he could play. Now what? Thank God for the internet. I can avoid TV. But then again, if it wasn't for the internet and being able to pick and choose what you want to watch and listen to, they wouldn't have that trash on TV. They have TMZ'd themselves to this point because they have no freaking talent. When you don't have talented people, folks, listen to me when I say this. When you're a part of some kind of quota, some kind of fake agenda, you know what happens when you do that? You don't hire the right people. Focus on hiring the right people. Focus on talent. Then you don't get this trash. Oh, we're just following the algorithm because that's what people want to watch. People want the feel-good story. Oh, they do, huh? Okay. Go ahead.
John? Well, I'll tell you what, though. In a couple minutes, you're going to hear more of Joe because he'll be on.
And I'll see you at Nightcap. Thank you, everyone, every night. If I don't see anybody at the Nightcap, thank you for joining us. Have a great night. I hope you got your fill tonight. It looked like we had a pretty big crowd.
Yes, and we still have a big crowd. So hopefully our big crowd in 3 minutes will go over to Joe on the Lakers Nightcap. It's still on YouTube. Please, Joe is going to light up the Lakers Nightcap here in 3 minutes. So I hope you join him for that, where there's more ranting and raving to come. But John, before we head on out, LeBron stated in the post-game press conference that he appreciated the recognition for 40,000 and appreciates doing something that hasn't been done. It's a milestone for the NBA, but it's bittersweet coming in a loss. Quote, for me, the main thing is always the main thing, and that's to win. So I hate that it happened in defeat, which is something, of course, AD stressed earlier, which obviously came with a little bit of a bittersweet tone attached to it. But with that, the stuff going on with Bronny, it seems like it's a sideshow, and it gets away from the focus the Lakers need to have. And you see, I'm not going to say that's part of the reason why the Lakers lost 9, because it happened all in the first half. Focus on the game. Soon as Denver decided to go ahead and turn it on, the Lakers really couldn't match up. But again, it doesn't help if you're making mistakes down the stretch from a coaching standpoint as well, John.
Yeah. Darvin Ham didn't help us, like how you said, with some of these mistakes that he made. Most notably, I think, was just the lineups that he ran and the minutes that he allocated to his players. I mean, like we talk about it. I don't even need to harp on it anymore. But like, Spencer Dinwiddie and Torian Prince and just Cam Reddish, like the players who just made no sense to be out there at the time they were out there. That's what really killed us. But at the end of the day, guys, like, we can go back and forth and whatnot. And I even said it myself. I was like, yo, like it seemed like the Denver Nuggets were just toying with us. But that's what teams do when you're just far better than somebody. Like when you're just far more superior than somebody else, you can stand for them to go on a little run. Like every run that the Lakers put together, the Nuggets were like, all right, cool. Like, don't worry, we got something for that. All right, cool. Don't worry, we got something for that. We got something for that. Because at any point they could turn it on, and that's exactly what they did. Pretty sure they that last 3 minutes of the game, they ended up going on with like a 13-2 run. Like that is the epitome of the fact that they can go from being down to turning it on at the literally switch of a light switch, because they're just a far superior team than us. It was just unfortunate, because I thought, in the first half we really had this game. We just had to not shoot ourselves in the foot, but we took a bazooka and shot ourselves in the foot, Gerald. That's what we did tonight.
Well, as I watched in Dune Part 2, Zendaya took a bazooka and took out her enemies. And tonight in that second half, it looks like the Denver Nuggets did the same thing. They just waited and seemed like they were just playing at a certain level, casually going through the motions, letting LeBron play with energy in that first half and get his 40,000 points, et cetera, et cetera. But soon as that happened, it seemed like the tide started slowly change, even though the Lakers still had at times a double-digit lead. But yeah, it's just the mistakes in that second half. The third quarter, the Lakers just couldn't hold down the momentum. But that fourth quarter, they still had opportunities to win. But when you have the wrong people out there when it matters the most, it is crucial. And unfortunately, the Lakers just could not get stops. It's a bigger problem that they have, John. they've been playing some of the worst defense in the NBA for well over a month now. And a lot of that has to be attributed to Darvin Ham right there. When you play bad as a team, the first place they go to is a coach. But you know what? It's an organizational issue overall from top to bottom. This team is exactly where it's at. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And with probably one of the worst parts of the schedule coming up over the next week to 2 weeks, it probably won't get any better than this, my friend.
Yeah. I don't think it will, Gerald. I think at this point we got to just accept our fate, accept what's going to happen this season. A 10th seed, and we're going to probably have to really, really fight to be able to get anywhere that is even meaningful. Because I'm trying to make some noise in the playoffs. I'm not trying to make some noise in the play-in. I'm not trying to be knocked out in the play-in. I'm not trying to be a team that's just, incrementally getting better every year. I'm trying to be a team that goes for it. And as of late, we haven't been that team. And I'm just going to accept what happens, what's going to happen this year, start moving forward to next year, getting ready to next year. And I just hope that Darvin Ham doesn't return, because I would love to be on, like, I would have loved to have been on these post-game shows, Gerald, like during the 2020 season, like when it's just like good vibes and we're just winning and I'm coming on here and we're excited. But it's
the Lakers' success. I'll just tell you, the Lakers' success came at a really bad time for the world.
Yeah.
And it was something that we sorely needed. I'm telling you, the enjoyment that I had, it to me is my favorite all-time victory because of who I got to share it with and during the time that we had it. So yeah, absolutely. I wish you would have been here as well, my friend.
Yeah, the 2020 season was definitely special. One of my favorite Lakers teams of all time. And yeah, like I say, I wish I would have been here, because now it's just like one game I'm up, next game I'm down, one game I'm up, next game I'm down. So, man, just done with this team and Darvin Ham.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 124-114. They're now 33-29, firmly positioned in 10th place in the Western Conference. We'll be back tomorrow for more great stuff. But right now, please turn your attention on YouTube and Facebook to Joe Sorrell, because his nightcap has started. Please join him there. Please go ahead and enjoy the continued rants with some drinks. Have a nightcap with Joe Sorrell. Hopefully that'll go ahead and put you at ease on a day where the Lakers lost. Hopefully he will entertain you this evening. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say. But John, I appreciate so much you being a part of what we do. Please go ahead and check out Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk with John Costa. Also as well, check out the Lakerholics who were here earlier today. That was a great conversation. Laker Tom with some wild stuff going on there earlier today. I got a whole bunch of texts regarding it, so please check that out. It's crazy stuff Laker Tom is saying, but we got to love it every time he's there for Lakerholics.com. But John Costa, great to have you here. Looking forward to have you back on. Before we head on out, any last thoughts from your friend? Or when the next time you're going to be stopping by doing your own show, a taste of Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk right here on the LFB?
Yes, I am planning on doing it this upcoming Tuesday. So if you guys want to stay locked in for that, I'm planning on doing it this upcoming Tuesday, probably around the same time that I did last Tuesday, so around like the 3:30 or 3 Pacific time.
I'll set it up, my friend. You just tell me when. We'll go ahead and set up for Tuesday. Sounds good.
All right. I appreciate that. Yes, I'll be here for anybody that wants to come on, check out the solo show, answering all your guys' greatest Lakers questions, and we can just talk really anything Lakers. Come hang out, guys.
Hopefully it won't be an hour grouch session in regards to Darvin Ham, but I have a feeling it might. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers lose 124-114. Congratulations again to LeBron James for reaching the milestone of 40,000 points. We'll be back again tomorrow for more great stuff right here at the Lakers Fast Break. But right now, turn your attention to Joe Sorrell. Have a nightcap with Joe Sorrell right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Be safe, everyone. And check out Dune Part 2. It's damn good.